I will say a lot of verses to support my theory, but in brief, the theology is clear from this text. Cast all your cares on Jesus, for he cares for you. You can read the same from Psalms 55 verse 22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. That's the key thought of the day. Before I fire away, as adventurers we've got induction, and as pathfinders we've got induction. It will be criminal for me not to invite you. Please kindly come. We need your support. Shall we pray? Father in heaven, we thank you for this privilege. And dear Jesus, we pray that you pour your Holy Spirit again, and may you speak to us. And after all is said and done, may we say it was good to be with the Lord. Bless this service, Father, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Scripture makes it clear that in the days we're living in, it will be called perilous times. It will be hard times. The love of many shall grow cold. That's what Jesus said. And there in Timothy, Paul says, know this, that in the last days, these days shall be perilous times. For men shall be lovers of themselves. Men shall be lovers of themselves. They'll be concerned about them. The care for a brother will be zero. You can expect the love in this time to be freezing, not cold. It is safe then to not expect much love around. It is safe then to anchor your hopes only in God. For here, in the times we are living in, the love of many will grow cold, and they will be lovers of themselves. Yet in this time, I want to underscore and say, still Jesus cares. Our world right now, this world we're living in, is full of wickedness, is full of corruption. All you need to do is to just listen to news. Not only 2 bulletins, but just one. There is enough corruption to give you a headache. There is so much wickedness. In Genesis 6 verse 5, the earth was so wicked and so corrupt. And the Bible says that every thought of man was evil continuously. Verse 11, and the earth was so corrupt before God, just like today's bulletins or news. The earth was also filled with violence. It was not corrupt, but it was filled with violence. You don't need me to testify on violence. Just check your television. Any channel you open, if it's not 3ABN, any channel you open, you will get loads of violence. Well, in times of Isaiah would think and say, can a mother forget her child? But nowadays, we don't say, can a mother forget a child? For sure she can forget a child, because we see it day in and day out on news. The great controversy still continues. I want to give you a hint of what we're up against. Ephesians 6 verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. There is a wrestling going on in this world. Not against flesh, but against principalities. There is a wrestling going on. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. It's not only a wrestling going on. There is a warfare going on. And in this warfare, God has his people right there. And then Jesus says, be vigilant, my people, for the devil rose like a lion, seeking he whom he may devour. In this world, we shall always talk about peace, but there will never be peace. In this world, Jesus even says, you shall suffer. You shall suffer. That's the world we are living in. And when we are suffering, the question that I have in my mind, when we are going through this warfare, the question that I have in my mind is, does Jesus care? When we are having all these warfares, fighting principalities, does Jesus still care? That's the question I want to answer today. Very legitimate question, especially for our times. Incomes are going down, disposable incomes, but prices are ever going up. I've got a question, does Jesus care in our time? Businesses are closing, families are divorcing. I've got a question, does Jesus care in our time? Talk of abuse, all forms of abuse. Does Jesus care when we see statistics going up? It's a question I have. Well, the good song that we've sang kind of concludes the matter and says he cares. Jesus cares. I want to say in this time we are living in, some of us will experience what Job experienced. You will not sit in that meeting that decides your fate. You will not be emailed to be told of trouble coming. But like Job, you will experience trouble after trouble. Job 1 verse 7. Satan goes to the Lord, and the Lord said, have you seen my good friend Job? That man, he trusts in me. But then the answer comes, if you only just take the head away, he will curse you to the face. He will curse you to the face. And the agreement is made. Not even Job knowing. Satan comes. Number one, the Sabians take all the cattle. Cattle are gone. Maybe he thought, okay, the Sabians, they are my enemies anyway. But before the report could finish, fire comes down from heaven. More property is destroyed. Now, when things or when troubles seem to come from heaven, what comes to your mind? Maybe when they come from your enemy, you just say, okay, this world we're living in. But when they come from above, what comes to your mind? Do you think about the care that Jesus has for you? Not only did fire come down, the Chaldeans came, destroyed some more property. And before long, the wind came, and all his children died. When all problems come to you, from the weather, from the economics, from the enemies, from the church members, what comes to your mind? Does it ever dawn to you that even in such times Jesus cares? I've got a burden. I want us to live here knowing that Jesus cares. Whatever comes to your life, Jesus cares. Well, other people might be spared the trouble that Job went through. But they will have something of their own. Like Hannah, they will be barren and empty. The bank accounts will not show the labor that you are doing. The fruit of your labor will be zero. And when you work hard and see zero, what conclusion do you make about God? Well, there's something that Hannah did. She went to the Lord and she prayed. And I love it because the Bible records that God remembered her and answered her prayer. God will remember you when you pray to him. It does not matter what you are going through. It does not matter who is ahead of you. Be it the CBNs, be it the weather, be it the enemies, be it the church members, if you take it to the Lord in prayer, God will answer your prayer and God will heal you. Now, think about it. Let's go back to Job. You know, with all these things happening, I found it interesting to find that Job's wife actually came to him and said, you know, with all this that you are going through, why don't you curse God and die? I found it interesting that she repeated the same words that the devil repeated to God. That take off the head, he is going to curse you and die. Unfortunately, the world we are living in, not all that are around us are of the faith. Not all that are around us are called by the name of the Lord. Some will be used by the devil to say the things that will deflect your faith. What do you say when words of deflation hit your ear? Jesus cares even in those times. You do not have to fear. Jesus cares for you. What do you think when you have been a virgin for years and all of a sudden the doctors tell you of that dreaded disease? What comes to your mind when you have been a vegetarian for years and doctors tell you of cancer in your heart or in your lungs or wherever? What comes to your mind? Do you think that Jesus cares? Or we say Jesus is unfair? I want to propose that in all situations we go through, beloved, Jesus cares for us. He will never forsake us. He will never leave us on our own. He actually cares for us. Think about a good person or a good friend of ours, Pastor David in the Bible. Pastor David was well known at Pretoria SDA Church. He was so much adored as a leader. Everyone revered him. All soldiers marched at his command. But when sin took place in his heart, when he fell with Bathsheba, when sin just took him down, what do you think came to his mind? When hopelessness, when weakness that comes as a result of sin flowed him down, this is what David said. David said, Lord, create in me a new heart. He went back to the Lord. He saw that even in the church, there was no friend. There was no one to look back to. And then he said, my help will come from the Lord. The Lord who made the heavens and the earth will help me. I want to ask you a question. When people call you by the name of your sin, when they call you by the adultery that you did 10 years ago, when they call you about the lie that you did 5 years ago, when they call you by your name in sin, what comes to your mind? Is it hopelessness or is it despair? I want to admit that all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All of us, our righteousness is nothing but filthy rags. In all our emptiness, in all our sin, in all our filth, Jesus still cares for us. He does not only care for us to have pap and meat and sleep. He cares that we are in sin. That's why he left heaven and came to die for us. That he may cleanse us and make us white. That one day we may be with him in paradise. Jesus cares, beloved. When those thoughts reminding you about sin, do not despair. Do not anchor your life on what you have done in the past. Just remember that as your sin abounds, so much more does the grace of the Lord abound in you. And he is faithful and just to keep you from falling. All you need to do is anchor your hope in the Lord, for he cares for you. Not only does he care, I repeat, when we lose things like Job. Not only does he care when we are are barren like Hannah. Not only does he care when we are in sin like David, in all the times he cares for us. He cares for us. When Job then did the mathematics of his life, and he tried to analyze what's going on, I like the conclusions that he had. I really like the conclusions that he had. In fact, God being God in his love and care, he came to Job and said, let's discuss. Let's have a little talk on your situation. Where were you when I created this world? Where were you when I laid the foundations of this world? Where were you when I put doors for the sea never to overflow? Where were you when I hung the stars up in the sky? Where were you when I created the cloud as a blanket for the earth? Where were you? All that God was saying, my thoughts, you see, when you are in trouble, things don't look very clear. You are bound to doubt. But my thoughts and my ways are not your ways. And my thoughts are just so high. I'm at another level. And though I'm at another level, I care about the things that happen on earth. David would say, then what is man that you are mindful of? That Lord, in all the schemes of this world, you care for him. Job would just marvel and not answer and say, my Redeemer liveth. I know that one day he shall stand. I may go through trouble in this world, but I know in the last day my Redeemer shall live. People who know that Jesus came, they do not look at the immediate trouble. They look at the end and they say, I know that my Redeemer lives. I know that he can sustain me. Though the corruption of this world can eat my flesh, though the corruption of this world can deflect and take away all my incomes, I know that at the end my Redeemer shall stand, and he shall reward me accordingly. I like it even when Isaiah says, you know, in this world we are bound to have a flat tire. In this world we are bound to be deflated in many things. But they that wait upon the Lord shall be renewed their strength. It does not matter what they are facing. As long as they wait upon the Lord will come and pump up that heart, and pump up that heart with despair, with strength and hope to soldier on. They that wait upon the Lord, yes, they may run, they will never be weary. Yes, they may walk, they may never faint. Why? Because their anchor is trusted in the Lord. Why? Because they know that their Redeemer liveth. Why? Because they know that Jesus cares for them. I want to ask a question. I really don't know what you are going through. I'm trying to catch 12, but it's running ahead. I really don't know what you are going through. But whatever you are going through, don't let the immediate blind your faith. Look unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. Right now you may sit down, but he is the finisher of your faith. You will make it to the line if only you trust in him. The songs that we sing, some of the songs we no longer sing them often, but there's one that says, are you weary or are you heavy-laden? Are you weary or are you heavy-hearted? Tell it to Jesus. Are your joys all departed? Tell it to Jesus. Do the tears run down your cheeks? Tell it to Jesus. Are you in trouble? Tell it to Jesus. Those are songs that we have heard, but they've got a great meaning in this Christian walk, because times of deflation come, but we've got only one hope, that is Jesus Christ. I'm glad that Jesus cares for us. I'm so glad he cares. And he takes time to think about us. He takes time to give us strength when we need Him. Philippians 4, verse 6. I go back to my verse. It says, casting all your cares upon Him, for He careth for you. Philippians 4, verse 6 then says, be careful of nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, take your requests and make them known to the Lord. What are you going through today? Take your request to the Lord. You know, casting is not methodological. Casting has no thought process, but just cast off. Just throw your burden to the Lord. And as Philippians say, through prayer, make your request known to the Lord. It's unfortunate, in the times we are living in, the perilous times we are living in, people despise prayer. People despise the very vehicle that God has given for their request to be known to God. I want to remind you, take it all to the Lord in prayer, and He will deliver you. He will deliver you. He delivered Job. Not only did He give Job more life, not only did He heal Job from the disease, not only did He give Job more children, but God made sure that He restored sevenfold. You see, right now, you might look like you're at a loss, but Jesus cares for you. At the end of the day, you shall have victory, as Job had victory. You know, the Peninas of this world laughed at Anna. How do you treat your colleagues at work when they laugh at you? How do you treat your colleagues here at church when they spit that accusation on your face? How do you treat them? Hannah took it all to the Lord, and we know that Samuel was born as a result of prayer. David acknowledged his sin. David prayed to the Lord and said, wash me with hyssop, cleanse me, take all my sins away. And we know that David's sin was taken away. And your sin today can be taken away. So what is it that you are carrying in your heart? Take it to the Lord in prayer. In supplication, take it to the Lord, for He cares for you. Other songs will say, there is no one who cares for me like Jesus. Not even your spouse can come close. Not even your parent can come close. But with Jesus, we have a friend. The song that we just sang said, oh, what needless pain we bear, because we do not take it to the Lord in prayer. With such a friend as Jesus, I want to stand and say, Jesus cares for every need. Take it to the Lord in prayer. The last portion, it says that His heart is touched with our grief. You know, I do not know, we live in a time of WhatsApp. WhatsApp is good. Please don't quote me afterwards. But our relationship have so much been reduced to the extent that if a member has a death in the family, the best we can do is a WhatsApp message. Our level of care has just gone down. In the past, the apostles would go door to door, encouraging one another. But well, nowadays we WhatsApp our encouragement. But with Jesus, it's not so. He cares for you to the very minutest detail of your life. One would say, even your name is written in the palm of your hand. That's how much He cares for you. He will never forget you. Your name is right in the palm of His hand. Even your hairs on your head and body, they are all numbered in Jesus. He knows every detail of your life. That's how much He cares for you. Why then give your burden to someone when we have such a friend as Jesus? Beloved, Jesus cares. I've taken 10 more minutes of your time, but Jesus cares. We are going out there, the devil is waiting. Whatever that you are going to meet, know that Jesus cares. The greatest burden I have is our past sins. That so much beguile us. That so much draw us back. Each time we try to progress, the devil says, remember Bathsheba. Remember you lied there. Remember you did this and that. And they seem to follow us. Please take it to the Lord in prayer. He cares for you. He cares for his church, and he cares for all humanity. If we take it to him, he will surely give us an answer. You know, Hebrews would say we do not have a high priest who cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities. He is touched with our weaknesses, with our incompletenesses. Jesus is touched. With all our failures, Jesus is touched. And therefore, as a high priest, he sympathizes with our failures, and he is there to plead for us, that one day we make it to heaven. You see, he knows what it means to be hungry, for he was hungry. He knows what it means to be fatherless. He knows what it means to be moneyless. He knows what it means to be homeless, because he lived here on earth. He is a high priest who is touched with whatever you are going through. He knows what it means to be laughed at. He was laughed at, mocked at, and spit on his way to the cross. He knows all that. He even died naked on a tree. He is acquainted to all our griefs. What needless pain we bear. Let's take it all to the Lord in prayer, because what a friend we have in Jesus. He is touched with our griefs. We need not suffer alone. I started by saying, in this world, it's perilous. But I want to say as I sit down, it won't continue like this forever. One day, Jesus will come, and all this will end. He did not leave us hopeless. He said, I will come again, such that where I am, you may be also. Where I am, where there is no war, where there is no wrestling, where there is no trouble, that where I am, you may be also. That's his desire for us, that one day we'll be with him in heaven. Daniel 12, verse 1 says, even in those days of trouble, Michael shall stand up. Michael shall stand up. Not to stand up to sing a song, not to stand up to give an announcement, but to stand up to deliver those that love him, to stand up to deliver those that have anchored their lives in him. Where shall you anchor your hope? He cares for you, and he will not leave you alone. When he shall stand, I pray that you will be in that number. You be in that number, that you would say, this one I've bought by my blood, and he has accepted me as his Savior. But he stands at the doors of our heart, and he's knocking. It does not matter how much he cares. The issue is, are you going to let him in? He has died, he has done everything. The question is, are you going to open up the doors of your heart? He is knocking today. He's saying, open the door of your heart. I will come in. I will sup with you. Whatever your problems are, we're going to have a little talk. We are going to cleanse them all. If it be sins that are red as scarlet, we are going to wash them as white as snow. If it's heavy burdens, we are going to let down those burdens. And you are going to take up a yoke that is easy, that is simple, that is light, if only you would trust in him. It's my prayer that as we read the word of the Lord, we may learn to trust him. As we meet the challenges out there, we may remember that we've got a friend in Jesus who cares for us. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of His word. Amen. Our last song shall be number 520.